What's up, chumps? Paul and I hope you enjoyed today's show. We talked a little Jimmy Smith.
Love him.
Love him. If you don't know who he is, you will. Ferguson versus Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor versus the world.
They should have like a giant three-way fight. Don't
really
they do that in Russia?
I think you're right.
We talked about it.
We talked about it. And then we have a little Matt Hughes update that will warm your heart.
It will.
It really will. We even threw in a couple segments for you. We hope you enjoy.
See you.
A man walks into a bar.
A man walks into a bar. No. A man walks into an arm bar.
Ouch.
Dude, that's genius. You should start an MMA podcast.
The podcast with little talent, but lots of extra belly fat. This is A Man Walks Into an Armbar.
Thank you for tuning into A Man Walks Into an Armbar. I am your host, Chad Alden, a.k.a. The Champ is here. And with you... Wow, I just butchered that. Too much champagne already. But with me, as always, is my co-host, Paul St. Amand Jr. How was your weekend?
It was good. I ate.
Long weekend. Oh, not really a long weekend for you, right?
I had to work today.
Oh, man, that stinks.
My company doesn't recognize Civil Rights Day.
BDA Radio. Come on. What are you, racist? What?
You had today off, though. That's nice.
Yes, I had a little break.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad. Sat around watching TV. That's it.
The whole
day? Pretty much the whole day.
Oh, man.
Found a new Netflix show. I recommend this. It's not like Pitch Perfect, although I do highly recommend that as well.
Jesus.
As always. But it's called The End of the Effin' World.
Really?
Yep. About a psychopath young boy and a young 17-year-old girl. They're both 17. She's a little out there. She's a little crazy. She's a little wild. But the show is kind of weird, kind of strange, kind of deranged. But it held my interest. Brittany didn't like it. But I thought it was great. Kind of out-of-the-box kind of show. Netflix original.
Oh.
So I recommend it.
Wow.
Got to check it out.
How many episodes first season?
8.
That's
and I
not
feel
bad,
like
then.
the first episode was like 10 minutes long.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if it was like a pilot kind of thing, pitching the show. But it's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
I like it.
I'll check it out.
What'd you do this weekend? Anything exciting?
No.
I had planned on going to Chaotic Wrestling.
Did you?
Friday. I did not.
It looked like a great show.
I did not go. I'm lazy. Still haven't. My diet starts tomorrow. That's
Yes.
basically what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'll have some motivation once I start losing some weight, once I start eating better. But I didn't. I wonder how that show went. Crockett made his return.
Yeah, his
to
extended
refereeing.
hiatus. Yeah, is over.
Hopefully that went well. We don't know because we didn't go.
We didn't go. It wasn't broadcast.
Wasn't broadcast. Hopefully the Kingpin did well. Not
Yes.
sure.
No
we
idea.
know, the Steelers didn't do well. Poor Kingpin. Poor Kingpin.
You know who did go well?
For us.
Yes.
Yes.
Patriots.
The Patriots.
Advancing.
They dominated.
Love it.
If you want to go through an emotional roller coaster, go to Brian Malonis's, the Kingpin Brian Malonis's Twitter account. And he was up, he was down, he was up again.
The entire game.
I don't even know what was going on.
It was so bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was really bad. But yeah, I don't, that was kind of exciting.
Yeah. I watched football all weekend.
Me
Watched
too.
football and ate. That was my two things I did.
Yeah, that's a good weekend.
It's not
Yesterday,
terrible.
to end it with the Minnesota game, unbelievable. Couldn't have predicted that. I was
Why?
actually rooting for Minnesota.
Why would you go for the tackle?
Dude,
Just stand there, wait for him to catch it, and
I don't
push
know
him
what
out of bounds.
happens. I don't know what happens. He just ducked his shoulder and missed everything completely.
It took out his own guy.
Took out his own guy that may have been able to catch up and make a tackle. No.
Imagine living in the city where you just ruined their chance for the...
The crazy thing is he's a
For the
good
Super Bowl?
cornerback. Yeah, he's
I know.
young. But I don't know, something went wrong. That's
Oh.
bad coaching. Bad
Yeah.
coaching. But yeah, other than that, pretty standard
What do you got
weekend,
today?
right?
What do you got today for wine? Champagne. What
it's
is it?
Champagne.
Champagne. What kind?
With a little Chad hanging on.
You
This
just
is what
buy
it is.
champagne. Like, the only time I have champagne is like New Year's
We
when
have,
I'm handed to it.
We've been drinking a lot of mimosas. So there's orange juice up there too, but I'm trying to cut down that sugar. So
You're ever
there
gonna
you
like
go.
advance into like something delicious like scotch or whiskey?
Maybe. I tried the whiskey thing for a little bit.
Yeah, and
I'm just the chick.
wow.
It's basically that's
Did you
what
have
it
to
comes
mix
down
it?
to. I tried. I should tell you what I started. I started
Oh
with
no.
whiskey sours.
Okay.
It was a
It's
few.
acceptable.
So I was drinking
Ish.
it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the Patriots were in the Super Bowl. Who knows what year it was because we're in it every single year. It feels like, not to brag or anything. Steelers who, but so it was a few Super Bowls ago. Every single score, I was doing a shot. I was doing like a whiskey sour. We were doing shots of who knows, like just stuff. We were just drinking a ton. The game was over, and I just spent the rest of the night till like 8 a.m. on my bathroom floor, just sleeping, getting sick, all because of whiskey.
That's
Now I
'cause
don't
you're
even
doing
want to
shots
touch
of
whiskey
everything.
again. It was not a pretty sight.
Wow.
So I haven't had a whiskey sour since. But
Just drink straight whiskey. You'll be fine. That's what I do. Knob Creek. That's my daily. My daily drink is Knob Creek.
But that's what I was trying to work my
So
way up
good.
to. A little bit of maybe an ice cube.
Like, what about like Jameson? Do like a little Jameson and ginger or something.
I should.
That's acceptable anywhere.
Yeah,
Jameson, ginger.
I wanted to go out and be that pretty cool older gentleman ordering a nice.
Older gentleman.
I don't know. I'm not that old, but I wanted to see
Mid-30s older gentleman.
I wanted to see him like a classic guy in a mid-30s body.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Couldn't do it. Got sick out the whiskey sours, and now I can't look at a whiskey bottle without getting nauseous.
Wow. Now
So-
you're drinking champagne out of like a.
So it's Bud
What
Lights,
type of glass is that? Isn't that
champagne.
like a?
This is a wine glass.
Is it a wine glass?
Stemless wine glass.
Oh, okay.
Again, trying to be stylish.
Wow.
As I sit here drinking my champagne.
2 Chads.
Yep.
You still have your
Got my little Chad hanging on.
Jesus.
Chad. Drink marker Chad.
What is it? Yeah, drink marker. I always forget the name of them. I never use one.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Before little Chad, did you have one?
No.
Did you have another drink marker?
No, I did not. You can't drink whiskey and have a drink marker. That's like an oxymoron.
How haven't you opened the rest of these? We talked about them last week. We see a couple names, but we haven't opened the rest. What if there's a Paul in there?
There could be a Paul
that
in
would
there.
that would actually make me
That would be an
start using a wine.
That would-
What the hell are they called?
that would
Wine
be
marker.
that would be
Drink
amazing.
marker. Wow.
I don't know. I'm a one guy kind of guy. so, I
Jesus.
mean, what? I mean, that came out
All right,
totally
let's start
wrong.
the show.
Let's start the show. Before we start, though, I'm going to take this opportunity to plug some stuff. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Chad Alden, at Paul St. Amand Jr., at Armbar Radio, and at BDA_radio. Also, make sure to visit BDARadio.com for the most unique commentary on MMA and pro wrestling, even if they didn't give Paul the day off today. Like them on Facebook at Facebook.com/BDA Radio Media. And if you want to be a part of the show, please call and leave us a message at 260-BDA MMA1. That is 260-232-6621. Make sure you subscribe and rate our podcast whenever platform you're listening to us on. Doing so puts this show in front of more people and helps us grow our audience. It is getting bigger. Our listens went up this week, so we appreciate it. All you new people out there giving the show a try, we appreciate it. And then trust us, it's a good thing for everybody. So let's jump right into it. UFC signed one of the best commentary guys in the business, Jimmy Smith, one of my favorites.
I love him.
Love him. Bellator has been scooping up all the UFC's people, whether it be fighters, whether it be commentators going the other way with Goldberg. So the role was reversed this time. So Joe Rogan had publicly stated that the UFC needed to sign Smith to the commentary team and that the execs apparently took notice because that's what they did. He joins the UFC broadcast team. The company announced on Friday. This is what Jimmy Smith said. I am honored to join the world's premier combat sports brand in 2018. It is a privilege to call fights for a living, and I can't wait to join the tremendous UFC broadcast team to call the best fights in the world. To the UFC fans, I am thrilled to join you on this wild ride. See you very soon. In the press release, the UFC stated that Smith, a Los Angeles resident who had a brief pro MMA career before going commentating, would be a part of the UFC broadcast for Fox and pay-per-view events, as well as taking part in the company pre-fight programming. So we'll see him around for a bunch of stuff, it appears.
Did they say when he's making his debut, though?
I'll share this little
Did
tidbit.
they?
What's going on?
I'm excited.
They may not have said it, but
Okay.
Ariel Helwani, of
Okay.
course, Ariel Helwani gets all this news, learned that his first assignment will involve desk work for the FS1 during next week's UFC 220.
Wow.
Cars, so it's happening quick.
Damn. That's
Love
great.
it. Love
I remember
it.
Jimmy Smith. Did you ever see the show he was on? This is where I first saw him ever. 2007. Do you remember the show?
There was 2 shows exactly the same.
Okay.
Competing against each other. I think that's the one. I just can't remember the name of it.
Fight Quest.
Fight Quest. There was another show similar to that on a competing network.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. And so Jimmy Smith was cast on that one. I forget the other fighter that was cast on the other
Dude,
show.
it was fantastic. That's when I was, because I was a huge MMA fan back then. And then they literally, 2 fighters go around the world, like learning, training, and then competing in their like brand of martial arts. It's fantastic.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I can't remember
Fantastic.
now if I watched his show or if I watched the other show.
Right.
But it was pretty awesome. Wasn't there a stick fighting episode?
Yes.
Brutal.
See,
Like, I think I would
they
do
got
it,
their
though.
ass kicked. They actually beat like competitors though, which was fantastic. Like
They're legit
they
stars.
trained for a week. But I guess if you're well rounded, you know, in a couple different martial art, whatever.
Yeah, and they're athletic.
yeah.
Quick learners.
Like I feel, yeah, they were both fantastic in the show. I think I only went for like a season or 2 though, but I remember like I was so excited for the show and then it got canceled. I was
That's the
pissed.
thing. If they had that around right now, I bet
Huge.
you it would be a huge success.
Huge.
I think the numbers weren't even that bad on that show. It was just, again, before its time. Like I always say with the Sega Dreamcast, before
Right.
its time. That show was kind of before its time too. And the other one that was on the other network that I may have watched, and I don't know.
Maybe.
I can't remember which one I watched and which one I didn't, but I absolutely remember that show. And guess what? He joins the UFC broadcast team. There was another quote. It says, we're very excited to have Jimmy Smith join the UFC production team and look forward to working with him in a variety of different on-air talent roles, said UFC Vice President Craig Borsari. Jimmy's extensive experience in mixed martial arts give him a unique voice and a great insight to the breakdown, the intricacies of our sport. We are excited to welcome him to the family. So Jimmy Smith, welcome to the UFC family. I can't wait to hear you call fights. I hope they put you and Rogan in to team up with somebody, whoever the color guy will be on that. Or no, they're the color guy. No, not the colored guy. The color guy.
Wait,
Are they
what?
color commentators?
Color
Yeah.
commentator?
They're
Yes.
the color commentators. I don't know
Wow.
who the play-by-play would be.
Wow.
Who would
What
be?
was that, Chad?
Yeah, I don't. I don't know what I'm saying.
You know,
Okay.
it should be
Oh, who should it be?
DC.
Yes. Well,
DC.
I think they're all color commentators, though. I don't think any. Well, although Jimmy Smith could do a play-by-play.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little different, but if any of the 3 could do it, I think Jimmy Smith
I actually
would be
think
the guy.
I think all 3 of them are fantastic.
I do too. I
They
don't
bo-
even.
like well, let's just stick with Jimmy and Rogan, right? So I think that both of them, they both were hosts of TV shows. They were both involved with television. They know kind of where to go in direction and when to pivot from a direction. And they were both fighters, so they know the
Love it.
moves. Dude, they're phenomenal.
They're
That's the perfect
fairly
team.
similar.
Yeah, so you might need a third offset, right? But I think the 2 of them are fantastic.
I would, you know what? In mixed martial arts, we live in a podcast world. Thank you, listeners. Thank you for supporting this podcast. We live in a podcast world that do we even need play-by-play guys anymore? Like you said, stick DC, Joe Rogan, and Jimmy Smith up there on a broadcast calling a fight. Bet you it'll be way more entertaining. These guys are legit pros. They will not talk over each other. They know when to talk, when to stop talking. I think I would enjoy the broadcast probably more than the current setup today. See, they could break
100%.
the molds.
Honestly, when Rogan's doing a live companion, I'll listen to that over. I'll mute the UFC.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
watch that.
Because it's more entertaining. They get to talk about
100%.
other stuff. So
Well, they're also drinking and like getting high, but
hey,
it's way more entertaining.
everybody loves a little Joe Rogan, maybe for that reason and that reason alone. No, there's many other reasons. That was one of my best tweets of the day. Yesterday was
Oh boy.
Tomlin should solely be fired based on the onside kick. I'm like, and all the other stuff too, but solely on the onside kick. So I thought that was kind of quick-witted.
I must get retweeted a bunch.
Tons. People loved it. People loved it.
Yeah.
And then right after the game, I said, breaking news, Josh McDaniels, the front runner for the Pittsburgh head coaching job. Tomlin should be fired.
Wow.
Just saying. I'm sure Malonis would agree with that.
Jesus.
But, so Jimmy Smith joins the UFC broadcast team. Look for him next weekend on FS1 as he helps break down UFC 220 that takes place in our backyard, Boston, Massachusetts, at the TD Bank Garden. Ngannou versus Stipe. And then DC.
Are you more excited for Jimmy joining or for Big John McCarthy joining the commentating
We
booth?
should actually discuss that as well.
Just saying.
Bellator released Jimmy Smith. Well, it was a mutual separation between the two.
Yep.
And then as soon as that was announced, they hired Big John McCarthy to join their broadcast team. I'm excited for that as well.
That's huge. He's going to get way more money.
He's going to get way more money.
He's getting paid.
He is getting paid. He did this before, I forget, with another promotion where he stepped away from reffing for a little bit.
Doesn't he have a podcast right now? For some reason, I thought he had his own podcast. I could be wrong.
You know what? He may have had his own podcast, and then when he went back to reffing, probably put that on hold.
Okay.
But somebody said that they expect him to bring that back.
Wow.
And, I'm excited for that.
He's
Why
entertaining. Every interview I see with him, he's fantastic.
He is great. Been around the sport for a long time, has a lot of insight.
Yep.
So I'm exciid for that, too.
I wish it was UFC.
True. We can't mention Jimmy Smith without mentioning Big John McCarthy. But both cool moves by both promotions. But Jimmy Smith has proven one of the best commentators out there. So this is a huge pickup for the UFC. I'm glad they made it work out, and I'm glad Joe Rogan has been making it happen, singing his praises for a long time. Finally works out. Boom. Love it. But it's going to be a shorter show today. We can't go for an hour and a half today. I have a board meeting. Poor me.
Lame.
Me. It is lame. So we're going to throw in as much MMA news as we can into today's show. So let's jump in to our first segment, which happens to be...
I bet you want to see my rear naked.
I bet you want to see my rear naked. This is a segment we created to highlight the women of MMA. There is a ton of talent in the sport of mixed martial arts, and we hope to highlight some of the people you should keep an eye on. To see more of these hashtag knockouts, go to bdaradio.com and click on Tail of the Tape. The person we are going to highlight on today's show is Felicia Spencer. Felicia is a Canadian-born MMA fighter competing in the featherweight division. She's associated with the Jungle MMA and Fitness and currently sports a 3-0 record. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about her Tail of the Tape?
Absolutely. Felicia, 27 years young.
So still pretty young.
Yes.
Heading into her great part of her career, her
Yes.
prime, as like the analysts like to say.
5'6",
5'6",
145 pounds.
Wow.
And is actually 4-0. She fought 2 days ago.
She fought
2
you're
days
right.
ago.
She fought. You know what? I knew that. She fought at Invicta FC 27
Yes, she
2 days
did.
ago and proved the 4-0. Dang, she's
4-0.
legit.
Yeah.
When you fight on Invicta and you still maintain an undefeated record, yes, it's 4-0. It's still early on in her career.
That's her 4th fight in Invicta. 4-0.
She's amazing.
Dude, she's going places.
When I saw that first picture, her on the scale, fell in love with Felicia Spencer. Don't know why. She has the right amount of muscle mass and other stuff going on. It's just what it is. She seems like my type of density.
Wow.
So Felicia Spencer,
She went 5-6 as an amateur too.
5 and 6.
5 out of 6 she won.
Oh, okay, 5-1. I was like, whoa, man,
5 and 1.
5
She
and 1.
won 5 out of 6.
Does it say who she lost to?
Her first fight ever as an amateur, she lost to Jennifer House Nixon. I'm not sure who that is,
Oh,
but that was
man.
back in 2012.
Do you know who also lost her first fight?
Chris Cyborg?
Chris Cyborg. I know it was professionally,
But
but
still,
it's
yeah.
similar. Maybe Felicia can go on a run.
She's the next Cyborg.
She could be the next Cyborg. The only thing is they're in the same division. So let's go. Felicia, get a few more wins under your belt.
2-3 more wins.
2 to 3 more. Get
Knocking
the
on
UFC,
UFC
to take notice. And then it's you versus Cyborg for a ton of money.
No offense, Invicta.
Love it. But I think Invicta's on UFC.
They kind of go.
Yeah, they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's one and the same ish.
Ish.
But ish. But like we just said, the Phenom, that's what Felicia's nickname is, Phenom, last fought at Invicta FC 27, Kaufman versus Kianzad this past weekend, where she picked up a decision victory against Akila Hamid. Love this girl.
Awesome.
She's good. Got all the skills. Well-rounded. 27 years old, heading into the prime of her career, already fighting in one of the biggest organizations in the world. A few more victories under her belt. Definitely going to see her in the UFC, taking on some of the best 145-pounders, even though that division only currently has Cyborg in it. They will fill it. Felicia could be one of those people they fill it with, so I hope so. Yeah, we'll kind of quickly run through this today. So if you have an MMA fighter you would like to see featured on this segment, tweet their info to us at Armbar Radio on Twitter. Let's jump into the next topic. I keep going to flip the page, but I don't have the page with me.
You do not.
Nope, working off the laptop today. That's what we do here. We're always up on the latest technology. Laptop is one of those devices we like to utilize.
You just said you usually have paper here. Using the latest technology. Paper.
Paper and pen.
Wow.
Oh, man, that doesn't look good for me.
The fact that you have a laptop, you should be on like a phone or a tablet or something.
I should. But we know what happens in this cold studio. Those will die in an instant. So I'm waiting for the laptop to die down, waiting for this the phone.
It might. I can see my breath. It's cold here today.
It is chilly. We got to get this heat fixed quickly. You know who we don't have to get the heat fixed because this is sizzling, is the announcement that Ferguson versus Nurmagomedov may happen very soon. And if it does, that means Conor McGregor would be stripped. The UFC light division is ready to move on with Conor McGregor. Dana White said on FS1's UFC Fight Night 124 post-show that the lightweight champion is shooting for a September return, adding that the promotion is currently working on a fight between interim title holder Tony Ferguson and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Two people with knowledge of the situation told MMA Junkie that Ferguson versus Nurmagomedov could happen at either UFC 222 on March 3rd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, or the planned UFC 223 event slated for April 7th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Assuming McGregor doesn't return to the fall, White said that he would be stripped of the title, meaning Ferguson versus Nurmagomedov would be for the undisputed championship. If McGregor comes back in September, that will be almost 2 years. That can't happen. It's not fair to everybody, White said. Love Conor, respect Conor, love everything that he's done for this company. Everybody knows that. I say it all the time, but the belt would have to move on. You do Khabib versus Tony. We're working on that fight right now, and when Conor comes back, he would get the first crack at the title. If Ferguson versus Nurmagomedov is booked for UFC 222, that would add a second title fight to the card. Champion Max Holloway is set to defend his featherweight title against Frankie Edgar in the current headliner. Ferguson and Nurmagomedov had been booked against each other 3 times before without a fight materializing after each of them pulled out due to an injury. And the third time, Nurmagomedov was hospitalized due to a tough weight cut. In the week since the fight, Nurmagomedov, in the past week or two, Nurmagomedov has engaged in some social media warfare with the Notorious. He said he believes he could beat McGregor and Ferguson on the same night, but would rather fight Ferguson because he believes him to be the best lightweight other than himself. Ferguson has been pestering McGregor for a long time to defend or vacate. That has happened for like the past year. The Irishman hasn't competed in MMA since he won it in November of 2016. So what do you think about this fight? I'm excited. Yes, we know Conor's out of the picture, but Ferguson versus Nurmagomedov is absolutely for the undisputed championship belt, because I think those two are the best guys in that division right now. How about you?
All I want to see is Khabib and Conor.
Oh,
That's all
really?
I want to see.
But
I think he's going to steamroll
Ferguson. Hey, you know what happens if he steamrolls Ferguson and Conor wants to come back to that division? There's going to be a guy waiting for him with one of the best headdresses, is that what you call it, in the world.
Dude, I think he's going to steamroll over Ferguson. I don't know about Conor getting stripped. Do you really think that's going to happen? How is Dana stripping him ever going to make Conor want to fight again anyway?
I know. This is the tough part is because the better fight for Conor is Ferguson.
The problem is, right, exactly.
Way better.
I think Conor would knock Ferguson out too, to be honest. I really do.
He has a better shot, I think, of knocking Ferguson out than taking out Khabib.
I agree with Khabib on literally taking him on both in one night, to be honest.
That would be amazing.
After his last performance.
Oh, how great would that be? I'd pay to see that.
Dude.
I'd pay double to see that.
Best pound for pound.
I think he is. I think he's scary if he would move up to 170.
The problem is that Conor's not going to get paid as much unless he fights like a Diaz. I think we talked about this last week a little bit. Like if he has a Diaz 3 rematch, that's the biggest payday I think in.
Probably. No, I think GSP.
GSP, you think?
I think GSP. If GS,
they're pretty far from like.
But that's the thing. Conor's a smart businessman. So
Yeah.
if he takes a fight against Ferguson or Khabib and loses, it diminishes his stock in the UFC. But if he takes a fight against George St. Pierre, again, another heavier guy, a guy that's been the best in the world forever, and wins that fight against George, he's now one of the best UFC fighters ever, MMA fighters ever. But if he loses to GSP, he can say, you know what, I took on this guy that's way heavier than me, that's been around forever. I'm undersized, and you know what, I fear no man. And if he loses, it doesn't diminish the fact that he fought a heavier guy. Like, he can still go back and make that big fight against Ferguson or Khabib. I think Khabib in Russia would do $1 zillion.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Khabib's scared of going into Ireland to fight that fight. I don't think either guy, they're just nuts. Both guys are nuts, and I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think that is a huge fight. But if you can get Khabib to dominate Tony Ferguson, then a Conor Khabib fight is bigger than it is if they did it first.
Right. He just has to agree to fight, right?
Yeah.
So they're saying if he agrees to fight, it could be the Khabib Ferguson for the interim still.
Could be.
And then he has to fight the winner.
Or it could be for the undisputed, and then Conor comes back and gets the first shot at the title.
Right.
They do whatever they want to do. We'll all pay to see Conor McGregor fight.
That's sad.
Doesn't matter who he's fighting. But yeah, he still has options. So he could take on the winner of this fight, could take on Diaz 3, like you said, the trilogy fight, or he could take on GSP. GSP won't turn down that money. Why not?
Right.
I think GSP would dominate him. He's too big for Conor. But there's options out there. But yeah, that's huge news. I think it's the right move. Conor hasn't defended it in a couple years, or what will be a couple years, so you can't hold up the divisions for that long. So absolutely, I agree with the call to make Nurmagomedov versus Ferguson for the undisputed championship. Love the move, and I can't wait for that fight.
Cannot
be
wait.
Electric.
I can't wait to see what Dana White does. Either way.
Yeah, me either. Next topic that we're going to discuss. Did I just we didn't even close that. I'm too focused on the next topic. Do you know why? Because I have a little sound bite that I wanted to play for everybody.
Oh boy.
And I was kind of trying to pull that up and talk at the same time. That obviously didn't go well because I just skipped right into the third thing. But let me just jump up, try to pull this up right now on our device. But while I'm pulling that up, we can kind of say it was Matt Hughes was honored by the UFC in his first appearance since the accident took place this past weekend. It was awesome to see. And midway through UFC Fight Night 124 in St. Louis, not far from where Hughes' hometown of Hillsborough, Illinois, the UFC put on a video honoring Hughes and his recovery from a June 2017 accident in which his truck was hit by a train. The former welterweight champion has apparently managed to come far in his recovery. And that was apparent from him walking down cage side and sitting next to Dana White. For the following the video, the 44-year-old Hughes entered the arena to the sound of the walkout song he used for years, "A Country Boy Can Survive" by Hank Williams Jr., which was awesome. The crowd went wild, and Hughes walked to the octagon and joined UFC president Dana White cage side for the main card. Take a listen to this. It's going to be an ad first because I didn't prep this video at all. So
I hate ads.
We're not sponsored by this ad. We don't.
Is it at least a good ad? Who is it?
I don't even know. Visa, MasterCard.
We're willing to be sponsored by Visa, MasterCard.
Absolutely willing to, but we're not right now. So if we say anything bad on this podcast, it's not because of them. They have no part of it.
You want to keep chasing your dreams. We make sure you never
Yeah,
have
it was
to
Visa.
stop.
Visa accepted. Listen to this.
Terrible news. Matt Hughes, the former welterweight champion's pickup truck, was hit by a train on Friday. 43-year-old was seriously injured.
Matt Hughes is one of these guys who is a pioneer in this sport and has helped this sport evolve.
Matt Hughes has defeated Hoist Gracie.
It was like a monument. It was like a legend. He was the best fighter of all time.
Matt Hughes with a submission, and it's all over. It's all over.
In my eyes, he built me. He built George St. Pierre. He built us. I owe it to Matt Hughes.
How sweet is that victory for Matt Hughes?
People always ask me, what's your favorite fight? And still to this day, my favorite fight is Hughes Trigg 2.
Matt's face is going red. He might have to tap. Oh, Matt Hughes survives the brink of defeat, and he pulls it out. And he slams the win goal. Whoa! Are you kidding me? He's got it. It's out. It's unbelievable. And it's all over. Matt Hughes remains the welterweight champion. Matt Hughes showing incredible character.
I think it showed a lot of people that have got a lot of heart and desire to win. And some guys give up in there, and they'll look for a way to get out. And I didn't do that.
That man is as great a champion as we have ever witnessed.
Some good news, Matt Hughes, his recovery from a June collision, nothing short of a miracle. Nothing short of a miracle.
We believed wholeheartedly that Matt would wake up, that he just needed time. He beat the odds and won the biggest fight of his life.
He's a fighter. You either are or you aren't, and Matt Hughes is. He dominated the weight class. He broke records. He beat the greatest fighters of his era.
When people look back and they think about Matt Hughes, I just want them to think I'm a fierce competitor. No matter what circumstances I'm in, you can't count me out.
So that was the video that they played this past weekend. Again, it is a video. I thought the audio was just as impactful as the video. But if you haven't seen the video, if you didn't get a chance to see it this past weekend at the UFC fight night,
How
check
jacked
it
up
out.
with you? How jacked up with you?
Dude, it was amazing.
As soon as they started playing the music, I got all pumped up. I got the chills, man. It was so good.
That's the thing. Even the audio version gives you the chills as well, but you have to see the video part that accompanies it because it's unbelievable. The UFC did a great job. Matt Hughes is a legend of the sport. Beat GSP, BJ Penn, Frank Trigg. The list goes on and on. He was one of my first favorite fighters
100%.
ever. I never thought that guy was going to lose.
I loved him.
Crazy. And then he goes out and beats Hoist Gracie. Yes, Hoist was past his prime. We know that, but it was just a cool passing of the torch, and he was a part of that moment. So that was awesome to see. Did surprise me because I've been seeing a lot of videos of Matt since the car crash.
Yes.
Definitely has a ways to go with physical therapy.
I know.
His walking wasn't the easiest for him. And then I can't wait to, I want to see him in an interview video. Not sure how, I know he's come a long way in his recovery, but I don't know how much the brain injury itself has impacted speech, memory,
right,
all those kinds of things. But crazy thing is, this guy was hit by a train. He walked out this past weekend. Oh my God.
Dude,
unbelievable. Superhuman. This guy is a monster. This guy is a beast, and you can see why he was the welterweight champion. He has, I don't know, all the drive in the world to get better and beat the odds, and he's definitely doing that. So it was awesome to see the UFC honor him this past weekend. So like I said, if you didn't get a chance to see that tribute, look it up, watch it.
It was awesome.
Unbelievable. So cool to see. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about that. It's awesome to see him doing well.
Hughes.
Love Matt Hughes as well. So let's jump in to our last segment of the evening, the fun part of our job. Well, the whole thing's fun. I shouldn't really say that.
Yeah.
That's terrible to say. But it is a really fun part of the show, so let's hit it right now.
Who would win in a fight?
Who would win in a fight? This is a segment where we like to pit two MMA fighters against each other and decide who we think would win that fight. It's our prediction part of the show that could win you money, but most likely won't. So today we are breaking down UFC 220, Miocic versus Ngannou. UFC 220, Miocic versus Ngannou will be held January 20th, 2018 and Boston, Massachusetts at the TD Garden. Can't wait. Let's jump to the bottom of the card. Actually, let's recap this past weekend. We were talking a little trash on Twitter against each other. Turns out, we tied.
Did we?
Yeah, we
I
tied.
I actually didn't check our picks again. I
Actually,
forgot.
you know what? I think you beat me now that I'm looking at it.
Oh!
Okay, so at the top of the card
Of course
was
I
Stevens
did.
versus Choi.
Yes.
You picked Stevens. I picked Choi. Damn it.
Jeremy Stevens, baby. That's
Tons
the
of
only one
power.
that mattered.
Both
Main
those
event.
guys.
Main event.
Watching that fight, though, both those guys possess a ton of power.
So good.
Unbelievable. But Stevens ended up winning that fight. And then there was a middleweight contest between Uriah Hall, Vitor Belfort. Just kidding. Uriah Hall fainted due to a hard
Canceled.
weight cut. I guess I would fake a seizure, too, if I was fighting Belfort in his last fight and knew he didn't care about peeing hot. There's rumors out that it might be Chael Vitor as... I'm not Chael. Michael Bisping Vitor as the last fight. That'd be
shit.
pretty good.
They
That'd
both
be pretty
retire?
good. Yes. That would be amazing. And then the women's flyweight contest, you had Paige Van Zant. I had Jessica Rose
Damn it.
Clark. I pulled that one off. Who knew Paige Van Zant would break around during the fight?
How insane is that?
Insane. She was just jabbing and kicking the whole time. That girl has the warrior spirit. She's a
crazy.
champ.
Love her.
I love her. And then welterweight contest, Usman versus Emil Meek. I think I took Meek in them, or I should say Mech, because that's how they pronounce it. I think I took Mech in that fight, and you had Usman. Usman destroyed him, and ended up giving a crazy after-fight speech that Dana White came out on record saying he's a jackass, something like that. Didn't appreciate what he said and how he said it.
Wow.
So
hopefully he's got more fights on this contractor. He'll be hitting a Bellator.
Yeah, true. But that guy is a monster stud too, so he has tons of power. Definitely showed it on that fight. He did come across as a little cocky in the end. Come on, if you're gonna stand up there and be so cocky, don't just take the guy down. Don't be afraid to stand up and bang with him a little bit. So come on, can't do that. So it I didn't appreciate it either. But at the same time, they are fighters. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to get the next big fight.
He was a jackass.
It was jackass.
Dana was white. Yeah.
He was,
Dana was white.
Dana was white. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It still is white. Dana White.
Dana White. So let's jump into UFC 220. Let's make our predictions. Let's start at the bottom of the card. Bantamweight contest. Good fight. Thomas Almeida takes on Rob Font. Before you make your decision, I'll give you a little stats. Thomas Almeida is 22-2, is 1-2 in his last 3 fights, but his losses were to Cody Garbrandt and Jimmy Rivera, 2 studs in that division. And then you have Rob Font, 14-3, 2-2 in his last 4 fights. Who do you have winning this fight?
Almeida all day.
Almeida all day. I think I am going to agree with that, and I'm taking Almeida as well. UFC light heavyweight championship. Gian Vellante, I think it's a Matt Serra guy, takes on Francimar Barroso. Let me give you some stats on this one, too. I guess I'll pick first. Gian Vellante is 15-9, lost 2 in a row and 3 of his last 4. I don't care. I know Francimar is 19-6 and coming off a loss in September. I am taking Gian Vellante to win this fight, and I think it's just level of competition.
So am I.
Good. See that? See, this could.
We never agree.
We don't. This could win you. This could win you money. Pick our picks. And I'm doing it. Experience. I think it's just a tougher level of competition
100%.
that he's faced. So can't wait to see that. Featherweight matchup. Calvin Kattar, 17-2. No Wikipedia page. Remember, I always throw that into my criteria. That ranks high on my algorithm. He takes on Shane Burgos, 10-0, 3-0 in the UFC. A prospect, a great prospect. Do you want to pick first? Or do you want me to pick first?
Shane Burgos.
You're taking Shane Burgos. This is where we're going to differ.
Hurricane.
This is where we're going to differ. And the only reason I'm taking Calvin is because he's from Methuen, Massachusetts, our backyard. Got to support the New England guy. Got to go all for it. 17-2, won 9 in a row. He is going to stop the hype train that is Shane Burgos, and I'm taking Calvin Kattar to win that fight.
His last 7 wins were decision, just saying. He can't finish.
He is going to win that fight. He's going to put Massachusetts back on the map.
If he does, it's by decision.
By decision. I'm calling it right here, going out on a limb. Let's jump up. Awesome co-main event and main event.
Oof.
Light heavyweight contest.
We might differ here, too.
We could. DC, Daniel Cormier, 19-1. Only loss coming to John Jones. Could be 19-2. Remember, 2 losses to John Jones, but that one was overturned to a no contest because John Jones peed hot. He takes on Volkan Ozdemir, 15-1. He's on a 5-fight win streak. 11 of his wins are by KO or TKO. Who do you have winning this fight?
Ozdemir.
You have Ozdemir winning this fight. Shoots! I was going to pick Ozdemir.
DC is going to retire to the commentator booth after this fight.
Shoot, I'm going with Ozdemir myself. I think he's hungrier. I think he needs this paycheck to pay his court fees. And that's why I'm picking Volkan Ozdemir to win this fight as well. Wow, we're agreeing way more than we're disagreeing on this card. Good. That's good.
Minus this one.
We're so disagreeing on this one.
Minus this main event.
Main event of the evening, a heavyweight contest between Stipe Miocic, who is 17-2 on a 5-fight win streak. 13 of his wins come by KO or TKO, meets the scariest man in that division, Francis Ngannou, 11-1, hasn't lost since his second pro fight. 7 of his wins are by KO, TKO, and he has never fought past the second round.
And he's never fought anybody except for Overeem past his prime.
And he's never going to fight past the second round because he's knocking out Stipe in the first 22 seconds of this fight. It's going down Saturday in Boston.
Stipe's knocking his ass out.
Oh, man. This is where we're differing.
First round within 4 minutes. Stipe will have his hand held high. I almost said head knocked off like Overeem.
He absolutely could have his head as
Stipe,
well.
baby.
Wow.
He's going to carry that title.
Shoots.
Carrying that title.
I think if he defends this title, I think this is the longest title defenses in the heavyweight division
has
ever.
It.
Oh, he already has
yes.
it. This is the thing.
I don't know about ever. Actually, he might be tied, actually. Maybe you're right.
I can't remember.
He's either has it or almost, yeah.
The scary Francis Ngannou. You have to start wondering if he's the best heavyweight to ever do it.
100%.
Crazy thinking about
Stipe.
all the awesome heavyweights that have been around since the beginning of the UFC.
Dude, I don't remember the last fight I've been more excited for.
I'm
so jacked up
unbelievable.
for this fight.
This is so good. This is so good. I can't wait.
Oh,
it's going to be
Stipe.
It's going to bring down the house when Francis Ngannou knocks Stipe's head off his shoulders. It's going to be crazy. And then Francis Ngannou is going to rule that division until Cain Velasquez comes back.
Wow.
I mean, what did I just say? I mean, I'm all over Francis Ngannou for carrying this division for as long as we could see. I don't even know.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Who do you have?
We got to replay this moment next week.
We have to. So if
actually, it's Sunday.
Yeah,
it's this Saturday. I mean, right?
Yeah, so we can play
the 20th.
We'll see. You may not want to play
this exact moment next week.
You may not want to play this.
You better get this soundbite. Jesus. I almost had a stroke. You better get the soundbite right now.
It's already loaded.
When Stipe destroys him within 4 minutes.
Oh, man.
What are you saying? Ngannou in what?
22 seconds.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm telling you. That's going to happen.
Dude, stop
it's gonna
it.
Shock the world. This is going to be a Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey moment all over. Except it's not going to be a kick. It's going to be a right hand that just puts Miocic
they made it
out cold.
Didn't they?
No, I know. I'm just talking about the not details.
I can't wait. Dude, I can't wait for this fight.
It's going to be an awesome fight. It's going to be a great fight. Can't wait. But whoever wins this fight, though, could lose the healthy Cain Velasquez. That's the crazy
100%.
thing. That's the crazy thing. Oh,
they
man.
say that Ngannou's like the scariest man. Like, no, a healthy Cain is the scariest man on the planet. Any weight class.
Can beat you anywhere.
Any weight class.
Love it.
Cain Velasquez.
Oh, man, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
But Stipe's taking this one.
I think it's going to be Francis. He's going to end Stipe Miocic just like their fight ended our show tonight. It really brings us to the end of our topics. I don't even have anything else. How about you?
That's all I got.
Okay, so maybe I do have a few more things.
Okay.
So let's go over the upcoming events like we always do because we are a show of the people. So January 19th, you have LFA 31 Moffitt versus Lay. And then January 20th, you have One Championship 67, Kings of Courage. January 20th, you have UFC 220, like we just mentioned, Miocic versus Ngannou. You have Bellator 192, Rampage versus Sonnen. Then you have January 26th, One Championship 68, Global Superheroes. Love the name of that event. And then I wanted to discuss a little bit of Bellator 192, like we just said, Lima versus MacDonald. Actually, that's not even what I said. I said Bellator 192, Rampage versus Sonnen, but it is Bellator 192, Lima versus MacDonald. That's scheduled to take place January 20th, 2018 at the Forum in Englewood, California. Took it off today, but Englewood always up to no good. The event will air live in prime time on the Paramount Network. Spike changed their name to the Paramount Network. It got bought out, something like that. So it's the same channel, I think.
January 20th, the same night.
Same night.
Wow.
Woo!
I'm shocked that they did that.
I am shocked that they did it too, but once I go through this card,
yeah,
it's a pretty legit card too. So let's run down those fights. We'll start at the bottom. You have a featherweight contest between Aaron Pico and Shane Crutchin. Featherweight contest between Georgie something versus Henry Corrales.
Kardashian.
Another but the next three fights, unbelievable.
Yes.
You have a lightweight contest between Michael Chandler. He takes on Goiti Yamaguchi. Love it. Then you have a heavyweight matchup between Quinton Rampage Jackson. He takes on Chael Sonnen.
How is that not the main event?
That's pretty good. Oh yeah, but then
that's what everybody's going to be watching for.
True, but but this fight, the welterweight contest between Douglas Lima, the champion, a guy that could be top 2 in the UFC, possible champion in the welterweight division, takes on Rory MacDonald. Rory MacDonald, just keep this in mind, I was going to say he beat Tyron Woodley. Did he? Am I making that up?
I don't remember that.
Or was that Carlos Condit that beat Tyron Woodley? Now I'm getting all confused. I think Rory had beaten Tyron Woodley early in his career. So you have two guys right here, top 5 in the welterweight division, regardless of promotion.
You're correct.
See that?
Beat
two
Woodley.
Guys, regardless of promotion, top 5 welterweights in the world. So I am looking forward to this fight. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know who I'm picking to win that fight because Douglas Lima is a stud, but we all know what Rory MacDonald can do. Guy is a psychopath. Love it. But I thought we should touch upon Bellator because that is a great card. 3 really good fights.
I'll be paying for Stipe and Ngannou.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm going to be watching both. You can
I'll
do
watch
both,
the highlights.
You can watch both. We really can.
Highlights, yeah.
Highlights.
I'll DVR it. It's on TV.
That's not bad. That's a good way to go. Yeah, you can DVR it, exactly. We'll watch it after Ngannou.
Stipe gets his arm raised.
After Ngannou destroys Stipe in under 22 seconds. That's just what's going to happen.
22 seconds.
22 seconds.
There's no way that's happening.
I'm calling it. Well, imagine 22 seconds is the call of the fight. Like,
I'll shit a brick.
Dude, I'll be awesome. That's what it is.
More importantly, you putting some money down?
I'm putting tons of money down on Ngannou to win this fight in 22 seconds.
How is he the favorite? I'm
he's
so angry.
a monster.
The champion is not the favorite.
Ngannou's a monster. He hits hard. He knocks anybody out. He could blow on you and you're getting knocked out.
Angry.
But that does take us to the end of our show for today. Remember to like BDA Radio on Facebook, facebook.com/BDA Radio Media. Make sure you check out the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing. If you like wrestling, that podcast will absolutely not disappoint. You can find their show by going to the NAI Network, BDARadio.com, or by searching pretty much any podcast platform like iTunes, Stitcher, etc. Also, you can catch this show, A Man Walks Into an Armbar, every Saturday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Podcast Radio Network. Like we said, if it's still around, not sure if it
They're
is.
back.
They're back?
They're back.
Oh, shoot.
Confirmed
check us
today.
out. That's awesome. So check our show out there. You can listen by downloading the Crikey Premium Radio app on iOS or Android, or by looking up Podcast Radio Network on TuneIn Radio. That is our show. Peace out for now.
Stipe for the win.